Hi everyone, my name is Jemimah. I'm a third year law student and this year's BAME Students Officer. As part of Nick's Women in Mind campaign, I decided that I wanted to have a panel discussion about mental health and how it affects women from BAME backgrounds. In particular, as individuals from our community often face individual and societal challenges, which in turn affect our mental health, as well as the fact that mental health problems are often viewed in a negative light in some of our communities. So before we jump straight into our conversation, I'd like to introduce you to my lovely panel. I'll start with Natra.
Hi everyone, so my name is Natra. I'm currently a master's student, so I'm studying global business management. I'm obviously leaving Roehampton this year, but yeah.
Thank you, Natra. Chim.
Hi, my name is Chim. I'm a second year law and criminology student. And yeah.
Thank you, Chim. Angel.
Hi, I'm Angel. I work at the university as a policy and projects coordinator in the Vice Chancellor's team.
Thank you, Angel. Gloria.
Hi everyone, I'm Gloria and I work for the university as a student wellbeing officer. So I support students with their mental health and any wellbeing issues that they face while studying.
Thank you, Gloria. And last but not least, Jennifer.
Hi, I'm Jennifer. I'm Digby Stewart's College Engagement and Activities Officer.
Thank you so much. So I'd like to start off by asking, on a scale from 1 to 10, how's everyone's mental health today?
We don't all want to at once. Okay, my mental health is about 8. I feel like I'm in a good place today.
Yeah, I think mine's about an 8 as well, I'd say.
Yeah, I would say the same, probably about 8.
Yeah, same.
8's all round.
All in all, good mental health today. Great to hear. Okay, so we'll jump straight into the conversation. The first question I'd like to ask is, do you believe the stigma around mental health is the reason why adults from the BAME community are less likely to seek support from mental health services?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
No, go for it.
I would say yes, it can definitely have an effect for sure. I think it's more about, your personal experience as well and your own experience. So, mental health, for my own experience, mental health is not something, we would talk about all the time, especially the older generation. I don't think really know how to approach it and may feel kind of uncomfortable, and that makes you kind of feel uncomfortable about it. I feel other communities are probably the same. So I think this is definitely a barrier when engaging with mental health. But as we're actually in lockdown, I feel it kind of changed it a little bit for everyone, or some people. So for example, a lot of people have, obviously we've all been going through so much, so I feel like this did kind of have an impact on how people see mental health. I think I can see that with my family and things like that. So I think it did help, which is a good thing, but it can I feel like it definitely is still something that needs to be worked on and is something that is a barrier. But yeah.
I think I would say I don't think there's a stigma around it. If anything, I think mental health is a very open topic. And when it does come to the BAME community, I feel like it's very talked about on either side of things. And I do think that everyone is in the same position in that sense. So I do feel like everyone is more supportive in that way, when it comes to mental health anyway.
I was going to say, I think it has definitely changed more recently. I think I remember being at school and it was like a real oh, you're not stressed, just get over it, at home, definitely. And then over the years, I don't know, maybe as my parents got used to knowing that stress wasn't something you're meant to feel all the time, they started to be okay, let's discuss it. And now my sister's just about to turn 18 and she's she can talk about it really, really openly with my family, and it's that's changed a lot in the last kind of 6 years, and definitely since lockdown, and since everyone's talking about it more.
I definitely think there is more awareness now, but I do believe there is a stigma because, again, coming from my background, it's not something that was spoken about. I don't think that people really believed in it. So it was just you're feeling a certain type of way, you're dealing with it by yourself, so even talking about it as an individual, it can be a scary thing. But nowadays, it's just so open. There's so much awareness and access to so many different support systems that I just think is becoming normalized?
I think that there's a few factors that sometimes prevent the BAME community from accessing support, stigma being one of them. But I think that that has been broken down as years have gone on due to like world events as well, and even to what we've even seen over the past couple months and last year as well. But I think that various cultures have different outlooks on life. And because of that, that can be a barrier sometimes. So there's a lack of awareness in some cultures. So I think that's also a barrier for our community. And I think the other thing that can also be quite hard and challenging for the BAME community is representation and having that in the mental health services, as there's a lack of it. And it is getting better for sure, but I think we do still have some way to go. So sometimes, you know, ethnic groups might feel like they might not find somebody in a professional capacity that could maybe relate to them or understand their culture. So as a result, they might be reluctant to actually seek support. So I think there's various reasons why people from the BAME community might be less likely to seek support rather than one particular reason on its own.
Yeah, I 100% agree with everything that everyone said, especially Gloria, because I actually am going to be covering the BAME community and mental health, one of my coursework pieces. And one thing that I came across was that most people that had sought support from mental health services argue that cultural naivety is a big thing within like that area. So they don't feel comfortable, obviously, speaking to or reaching out to therapists or people in that field when it comes to speaking about their mental health, because they can't relate to them and like to their backgrounds in general. So it is quite interesting. Do you feel comfortable speaking to your loved ones when you're struggling with your mental health?
No. That sounds so bad, but no, I just feel like like everyone was saying before, I do feel like in terms of your own household, there is some sort of stigma around mental health. And I just feel like your parents, especially, well, from talking from my background, my parents are both Nigerian, so it's very like get on with it. Like, do you know what I mean? Like you can do it sort of thing, be independent. It's never a thing where I can go and talk to my mum and she's like, I'm not saying she doesn't support me, but the support is very straightforward and strict. Whereas I feel like with other people, maybe it's more like, you know, supportive in terms of like hugging or more like a more physical emotion thing. Whereas my parents are very like, you know, do this, do that. Do you know what I mean? So it's very different, I think.
Yeah, I understand where Chim's coming from. I think for my case, my mum is quite understanding, because I feel like with me, I struggle a lot with my mental health, especially if we're approaching exam season, for example, or like my deadlines are coming up. So with her, like, although I feel like with a mum just knows, mum's instincts. She'll know when there's something up with me, because I won't want to tell her because I don't want to stress her out. That's my big thing. I hate stressing my mum out. But with her, she always emphasizes that if you're not feeling okay, if you're not feeling like yourself, let me know. And I think in that aspect, I'm very grateful for her, because with her, she would, if she knows that I've got exam season coming up or I've got my deadlines coming up, she'll book time off work to spend that week with me to make sure that I'm good. But I feel like Chim mentioned, not all parents within the BAME community are that understanding, maybe because they didn't receive that kind of support when they were younger themselves. I think that might be the problem, but yeah.
Also, just to add, like people that also have siblings, like I have 3 older sisters, I feel like they've kind of raised me more in terms of, you know, going down the right route or knowing what to do. Whereas my parents kind of just enforced those thoughts in me, but like obviously I'm not knowing what to do. Like my sisters have helped me like grow into that sort of what's it called? That sort of mindset.
In terms of support, I think I get a lot of support from my siblings. I don't get any from my parents, but I feel that's because they don't know how to support. They don't know what to say. They don't know what to do. You know, my siblings, we're all quite similar ages, so we all understand each other, and you know, it's easy to be able to pick up on what's going on in society nowadays and be there for each other. But I think when it comes to the older generation, it may be harder for them to give us that support that we need. And again, as a parent, I've got 2 young children, so knowing that I don't get that support that I would like to from my parents, I try and build that in within myself for my children, so they get that from a young age and they know that everything is quite open with me from like parent to child.
Yeah, so I was going to say I agree with all of you, and yeah, like Chim and Jennifer, you guys have said about, yeah, it can be hard to talk about it with your family members. I definitely feel that as well. I feel like you have to, like, I feel like I have to be strong and not sad, and then I don't want my parents to feel sad, so I don't want to talk to them about it. But also, yeah, I do feel like, you know, they don't, it's kind of, they don't really talk about it, they don't know how to talk about it. But I do feel like it has changed, yeah, over COVID especially. But yeah, what I think is important, like I've just learned that I need to talk about it, so I have to talk to, you know, people like my cousins who are very, very close to me and their family. So I feel more comfortable speaking to, you know, people like that if I can't speak to my parents. But yeah.
Okay, thank you. So to any students that are listening to this conversation, what advice would you give to them, to the ones who don't feel comfortable speaking to their family about their mental health?
I think we could draw on the stuff about siblings and like not just having to kind of go to your immediate like parents and think that that's who you need to go to. I think that you'll definitely learn a lot from like, yeah, siblings that you've got, cousins, aunts, uncles, and also just like if you can speak to your friends and see what they do in their family. Sometimes like there just might be somebody that you can reach out to that is a little bit different. So it might be like, I don't know, a sibling of a friend or somebody that you know that's like in your kind of close family friend circle. And like just speaking to them about kind of general things. So I don't know, like, oh, the weather's been a bit rubbish. Like, what have you been doing to make yourself feel better whilst the weather's bad? I think then you start to open up that conversation. So it doesn't necessarily need to be straight away like, how's your mental health? But like, how can you bring up that your mental health maybe is suffering during this time, and how you can kind of work to improve it?
I agree with a lot of what Angel said as well. I think starting off, even with a trusted friend, if you feel comfortable, or with an auntie or uncle. So it doesn't necessarily have to be someone in your immediate family, but just someone that you trust can always be a starting point. And if there isn't that available for you, then I think just remembering that there is support in the university, and you can always reach out to the wellbeing team, and we provide a professional service that's inclusive for all students, no matter what background. And you can come to us about any problem, whether it's big or small, it doesn't matter. If it matters to you and if it's something that's bothering you, then it matters to us as well. So yeah, we understand at the university that not everybody is going to have someone to talk to that they can easily access. So just remembering that as well.
Gloria. So now we'll move on to the pandemic and how it's affected us generally. So how would you say the emergence of the first lockdown affected you?
The first lockdown, sorry, we keep talking over each other. The first lockdown, I don't know how, I don't know why, but I actually got on with it quite well. And I think a lot of it was to do with the weather. So we had really good weather. So just being able to be outdoors, you know, in the garden, or just to get that sunlight, that vitamin D, just made such a big impact. So I actually got through it quite well. However, again, even I was on furlough at the time, and I still got children, so I was doing homeschooling, but I did not feel the impact like I do now. It's a completely different feeling.
I think also as a student, I think the first lockdown really helped me. I feel like it really slowed down everything, and I think that impacted my studies in a really good way. I was able to catch up with work that I felt like I wasn't really doing well in. I was able to ask for more support. The teachers were really supportive, so it really helped. But also, I think having online lessons, it can have a detriment to your mental health, because obviously you're stuck in the same environment and you're not able to do the things you normally would do, like going in for your lessons and stuff like that. But at the same time, I really do feel like it gave me that choice whether to not catch up today or catch up tomorrow. If I'm having a bad day and I have to go in, I can just do it from home and online. So there was an option there, and I really did like the pace of how it was going as well.
I think for me personally, I had a really negative experience with the first lockdown because I went from living on campus in my second year, and I was also on the committee of a BAME society, and I was also in the middle of running my campaign for the elections. So it went from all of that going to standstill to moving back home, and it's just like I had nothing to do. Like, of course, I had my assignments and everything, but I was just like, with me, I need to have somewhat of a busy schedule. Otherwise, my mind is literally occupied with so many different thoughts, and like I'm literally stuck in my head. So I found it really difficult. Like, not a lot of my like friends know this, but I found it really like I'd wake up in the morning, I'd not want to get up and do anything. So I'd just be stuck in my bed. And it got to a point where my mum had to like force me to get up and get stuff done because she knew that it was affecting me negatively as well. So yeah, the first lockdown wasn't that great for me. It's difficult for me to talk about it as well because when I look back on it, I was just like, it wasn't the best.
Yeah, I think I can probably like vouch for that as well. I think I was on a grad scheme and I went into my second placement of the grad scheme, and so had to kind of get to know a whole new team and everything virtually. And I just don't like the feeling of being a bit useless. And I just wasn't doing anything. Like I couldn't go and like bump into somebody and like get a coffee or do my commute into work. And I think I wasn't really sure how to handle that. So it was quite difficult. Yeah, I don't know. I think this one's been easier, but I'm not really sure why. Whereas it's been quite the opposite for most people. I think like they quite enjoyed the first lockdown and aren't enjoying this one. So
I feel, I was gonna say I kind of feel a little bit the same. When it was the first lockdown, it actually was I took time out of work to go traveling, so then I had to return to the UK because of coronavirus, and that kind of obviously messed up a little bit with my plans. It kind of messed up a lot of my plans actually. In terms of work and just career-wise as well, obviously I decided to do a master's because of all that, which now is obviously, I think it was a really good decision. And yeah, I feel like I'm the same as Jemimah. I need to have like a really busy schedule to keep myself going. And I think this lockdown is really hard still, but because I'm running the BAME Society and doing extra things and mentoring and things like that. So I feel like, that all helps a lot, and having like the girls on the team and talking to them and having events and things like that has really helped me so much in terms of feeling like, I have a purpose. I'm, doing something that's benefiting people. It's, it does really help. So I think, it's kind of gotten a bit better, but yeah, it's still quite pretty different, isn't it?
Yeah, I think the first lockdown for me was a bit of a shock because initially we had like team meetings saying just going to be out of the office for about 2 weeks, then we're going to come back, it's going to be fine. And then the months were just going on, and there was no way or indication that we were going to be returning onto campus. And yeah, I just missed, bumping into my colleagues at the photocopier machine, simple things like that. And also really missing my friends, because that's like a really big part of my life and my social life. And all of that just being stopped suddenly for me was actually quite traumatic. And I had to really adjust to it. And funnily enough, it's really weird how I'm actually finding that this lockdown has been really different for me. I'm enjoying it a lot. And so yeah, I think people who didn't do so well the first one are enjoying this one, and then people who for some reason enjoyed the first one are not enjoying this one as much. So it's really interesting. I wonder why that is.
What techniques have you used to maintain good mental health during a pandemic?
Sorry. I think I'd probably say just getting out and about. Like I was kind of slipping in, especially at the start in like early January. I was like, oh, don't really want to go outside, it's a bit too cold. And like now I just kind of force myself out, like, oh, there's something I've got to go and do, or I need to like walk and put something in the post box or something. And I think that that's kind of helped me just realize that I can break the day up a little bit to be like, okay, let's just go for a walk at this time. That and cooking, I'm really enjoying just making a good meal, like which is nice. But I think quite a lot of people enjoyed that in the first one, and again I definitely didn't, whereas like I'm really enjoying, like, you know, the winter warmer like meals. I've just been making a chili chicken ramen, so yeah, it's good.
I feel like I've started to exercise more, and it's becoming like part of my daily routine. Like I'll get up and I'd feel like if I don't do a routine, I'd be like a workout routine, I feel really guilty. So like it's become a routine of mine, and I actually really enjoy it. Like it really does help my mental health, because then once I work out, I know I have a routine for the day. So I know like once I work out, I'm awake anyway, so I have to do this, and I know I need to do this, and I write my to-do list for the day, and I'm just like, oh, like got a little routine. So I feel like at first, I feel like everyone didn't really know what to do with themselves. But now slowly I feel like people are getting a routine. But then it's really scary, because if you do come out of lockdown, is that routine gonna go? Is that gonna stay? So I don't know.
Yeah, following on from what Chin was saying, I got into exercise. I love indoor workouts, but also I started a new kind of fitness Instagram page, and I started doing like free workouts weekly, which I still do, like for the community, just so that if there is anyone out there that needs some form of inspiration or motivation, they could just jump on my page and have a look. Because I've had quite a few ladies actually that, you know, they just like to come on, even if it's just to watch and hear the motivation. It's helped them. So that's how I've kept going basically.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, basically kind of what you all kind of said. So yeah, during the lockdown, of like everyone has picked up baking. But I think that is literally just one of the most therapeutic hobbies to do. I'm definitely going to continue it. But I think that's definitely helped me, because it really does, like, it's become a hobby that I really like. I've made an Instagram page where I have all my little bakes on there, and you know, that is like something different. So every week I try and bake to like post on my Instagram, and that also just takes, because baking does take a while, it does take a big chunk of my day, but it's a good chunk of my day. You need that break. So I think things like that just really helps, like putting time for your hobbies and really prioritizing that is really important. But yeah, definitely working out regular. I've done that a few times. I'm just saying to everyone, be realistic with your workouts. I think if you make yourself do like 4 exercises, you just won't stick to it, and you'll just feel like you won't feel that productive. But yeah, just be realistic with your workouts. And yoga is really good as well. It's a form of meditating as well. I never used to do it, but my friend actually got me into it, and it's just really, really relaxing. But I think a top tip actually would be like help a plan for the week. I think that really helped my mental health, because I just used to have so much anxiety with everything that I had to juggle. And then when I started my master's, I've done a calendar where I fill out every Sunday for the rest of the week. And I just feel so much more prepared, and like I can do this, and it just makes you see that even though you've got a lot of work, putting that into a plan and for the week actually makes you feel it is possible to do all that, and you know, make it realistic. So that just personally really helped me.
Also carrying on from what, sorry, I don't know how to pronounce, is it Natra?
Yeah.
Following from what Natra said about yoga, also, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but a lot of people have started to manifest now. It's like some new thing that people started to do, and I feel like at one point I actually started to do it myself, and I actually felt like some sort of, I don't know, some sort of hope, and you do feel like happy because you're manifesting towards these like good things to come and greater things to happen. So like maybe also if you're very spiritual and you want to like try and find something new to work towards, maybe manifestation might be good for you as well.
Thank you, guys. This is a question for Chim, because I'm aware that you were obviously put into isolation during the first month back at university. So how did you find isolating in student accommodation?
It is very isolating, actually, being in student accommodation. I feel like it wasn't so bad because everyone I feel like was in the same scenario. Everyone on campus during October, November time last year did like initially catch the virus, and it was spreading. And then everyone ended up getting it anyway. So I feel like everyone was in the same boat, which helped me get through things a bit better, because I kept reminding myself that everyone was in the same place as me. But at the same time, like, being on your own is very, very damaging. You have like literally zero motivation whatsoever. You can't be bothered to do anything. Then back to what I was saying about techniques, like working out really did help me some days, just get up and like get active. And I was really like I was really like worried and aware of my flatmates. So I wouldn't really leave my room as much, or like I would leave my room when they were in their room, just to give them that space. I'm not like, you know, contaminating what they're working with as well. So on the whole, I think it was okay, but you do feel really, really like down and unmotivated. But one thing I would say is that you don't have to do everything. You don't have to do anything if you don't want to do anything. Like, you don't have to force yourself to do work. Like, I feel like you should do work when your body tells you it wants to do work. You shouldn't force yourself to do it, because you just feel more down.
Yeah. I'd like to go over to Gloria, who will explain what type of support students and staff can seek if they are struggling with the pandemic or with bereavement in general, because I feel that's something that we haven't really focused on, because so many people have lost loved ones over this past year, which is obviously really sad. And someone out there could be struggling with this and wanting to know how to seek support if they can't go to their families or friends.
Great, thank you, Jemimah. So yeah, we know that this is a really challenging time in so many different ways for everyone. Some have lost loved ones, some people are facing financial challenges, and there's also mental health issues as well due to isolation and lockdown. But yes, the wellbeing team are here for students, so they can get confidential advice. We have counsellors, we have mental health advisors who can help you to manage your mental health. We were talking today a lot about techniques and strategies, and our mental health advisors and counsellors are professionals who can really work with you and sort of tailor that support so that you can get the effective strategies and techniques to help you manage in this time. And we also have NHS services that we work really closely to, and we can make direct referrals. So for students, if you're even feeling a little unsure about whether you want to get support for your mental health, I would say just have a chat with your student wellbeing officer. There's 4 of us. I'm the Whitelands Wellbeing Officer, and then I've got my colleagues, Nikki, Joe and Em, who are for the other colleges as well. But if you go on our support page, and hopefully we can give you some links from the rest of this panel that we're doing today, you can, you know, click on that and find out a bit more about us and what we do. And also, we have a listening service for students as well that we can refer students to, or you can refer yourself directly. All this information is actually already on the student portal, but we can get links out to you if you need them. And for staff, we have so much support for staff. It's all on the staff portal, so you can have a look at that. If you did want to get support, then just get in touch with HR and also have a look at the various things that the university provide for staff. So I would just say, have a chat. If you're a student, have a chat with your wellbeing officer, and we will definitely want to work with you to explore what would support you. And we're not going to force you to do anything that you don't want to do as well. The support is based around what you feel comfortable with. So we hope that you will, come and engage with us, and we hope that we can help you to manage in this time.
Thank you so much, Gloria. As Laura mentioned, there will be links to all the necessary wellbeing resources and emails below this video, as well as my Instagram page. If anyone would ever like to talk, have a discussion, like, my DM's always open, because I do understand that as students, we are really struggling during this time, and it would be good to speak to people other than obviously your friends and your family that you feel like you could get advice from. I guess my last question is there any advice that you'd give any students and staff right now, just to end this video, like, in general?
You spent about half an hour watching, so you've got about a half an hour lunch break left. Go out for a walk. Hopefully it's sunny-ish.
I would say be kind to yourself. Honestly, I think that self-care is so important, and just knowing that this is so different for all of us in different ways, and someone's going to cope differently to maybe, you know, someone else. So don't compare yourself. If you need to take a rest, take that rest, because then that way you're going to go back to your tasks more mentally ready, emotionally ready. Don't add any extra stress to yourself. It's okay to not be okay as well. So remember that too, and reach out for support.
I would say just remember you're not alone. Everyone is going through their own journey, and don't feel that it is a stress to share what you are feeling.
I would say just don't put too much pressure on yourselves. Like, take every minute as it comes, literally, and just do what you feel is right in that moment. If you don't want to do your work, you don't have to do your work. If you want to relax, you have every right to relax. Like, it's just how our bodies work. So just take your time with it.
Yeah, I was also going to say, like Jennifer said, you're not alone. I also want to say I am running the BAME Society, so if anyone wants to come to me, like obviously more than welcome to. We're really happy to have more students, and if you wanted just to talk, I'm always here. You know, you can just DM me on Instagram or anything, or email me. I'm here for a chat. We can arrange a call. Yeah.
My piece of advice would be just be kind, because you never know what someone's circumstances or situation is. They could be going through something so horrible and you have no idea. And I feel like I'd also say, I feel like for me, as someone who takes on quite a lot of roles within university, it's okay to say no. If you're approached with an opportunity, or if someone would like you to jump onto an event or something, and you know that you can't handle it, or you've got a lot on your back in general, it's all right to say no, because you want to avoid crashing, if that makes sense. Like, especially during a pandemic where you can't really, you know, seek support from your friends, you can't go visit them or anything like that. So I would say, take on what you can manage, don't take on too much. But yeah, I'd like to say thank you so much to my lovely panel. Sorry for joining me today. I really appreciate it, and all the advice that you've given all students and staff watching this. And again, all the necessary links will be below this video. And please do reach out to the wellbeing team if you are struggling, because they are there to help you. But other than that, thank you so much for watching.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank you very much.